Hello and welcome to my craft space. Today my goal for you is to learn how to put an interactive 12 by 12 page into a photo album. So I'm looking particularly at the albums, the ring bound albums, but this also works for post bound albums. We will be doing this with page protectors. So it'll go in with all the other pages that you already have created. So in terms of interactive pages, the interaction comes from all sorts of places. You can see here, this is a particular one that I taught at the Paper and Ink Boutique in Calgary, Alberta. It has, it's a double page spread. We've got this cute flap that opens, and then there's a waterfall feature on the front. We've got this flap that opens. In this flap, there's a little tuck spot, so this whole thing comes out, and you can look at both sides. And then there's this beautiful spread to be revealed by these flaps, ready to look at. So you can capture a lot of photos with this, with these interactive pages. So this would be page 2, super simple, comparatively, just up and down. But I wanted to show off that treehouse, so I didn't want to cut it up too much. This is another one I did using the recent Echo Park release called Let's Go Anywhere. We've got, this is a little pocket flap, so this is coming up, I need to fix that, but there'll be, these are places for your like camp maps or little pieces of, or your park passes and stuff that you can tuck in there later, and then it opens up. We've got this interactive element with this page, this waterfall. This page opens up to reveal some more pictures, and then this whole thing even opens up for more pictures. So who knows how many photos you can get in that baby. And then this one I used the Minte Graceful line. Also was a class at the Paper and Ink Boutique. So I've got an acetate pocket here on the side, and then this whole thing lifts out to reveal this beautiful 5x7 photo. And then I've got this little folder that opens up with lots of these little tags you can add more photos to, lots and lots of photos and memorabilia places. And then on this one opens like that. Okay. So my goal for you tonight is to have you guys know how to go ahead and put these into, like, all well and good that we can make them, but how am I going to get this into an album so that they can be looked at and enjoyed? So what we need for that to happen is the self-healing cutting mat. I like to have a piece of chipboard. Any chipboard will do. This particular chipboard I'm keeping for my interactive pages. I'm going to use it over and over. As you can see, it's going to get little cuts in it and marks on it, so it's nothing I'm going to use anywhere else, and so I'm just going to use it over and over until it's chewed up and can't be used anymore. Of course, some page protectors. You'll need some scissors, a nice X-Acto blade, nice and fresh blade, metal edge ruler, and a Sharpie pen, a Micron pen. That would be great. Another thing that I'm going to add just for later, for when it gets a little more complicated, is purple tape and art glitter glue. Okay, so that's what you need, and I'll try to remember and hopefully put all this into the comments so that you know before you start what you need. Okay. So we're going to start with probably what I think is one of the more easy pages to do, and that is going to be the one that I showed you with the tree houses on it. So with the tree houses, I've got a flap that comes, it starts, what is that? Yeah, about an inch from the top. So there's an inch header, and then the fold for the flap, so this flap comes up, like that. And then I've got a flap that comes down at the bottom, like that. So this one's pretty straightforward, actually. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to actually put, first things first, let's talk about orientation. So I know that I want this one to be on the right-hand side of the layout. So if I have two layouts together, I want the other layout here, and I want this one on the right side. So in this particular case, I've got the page protector oriented correctly. I've got the holes on the left side. If I actually want this page to be the left-hand page, then I need to orient the page protector so that the holes are on the right-hand side of the page. That's kind of important to remember and think about before you start cutting. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the page right into the page protector. Now these are the We Are Memory Keepers page protectors. You can buy them in packs of 50 or 100. I think even less, I can't remember. Anyway, I got mine at the Paper Ink Boutique. I do work there. Just to be clear, I'm not getting paid for this particular video, so you don't have to worry about any nefarious schemes happening, but anyway, so moving on. So I have the top of the flap, and what I want to do is I want to create a slice in just the top layer of the page protector so that this flap can come out of the page protector and down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my ruler along the top of that and make a mark with my pen. If you have a dry erase marker or one of those, remember the overhead transparency markers, that's a handy thing to have. Alright. Okay, my line isn't perfectly straight, but I'll show you a trick for that too. So now I know, okay, so I need a line. I need this lower flap to come out the bottom and flap up, and I need this flap to come out this slice and come down. So I'm just going to pop this out because I don't want it to get ruined. And what I'll do is I'm just going to I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually kind of put it on my self-healing mat in a way that this line follows one of the lines. I'm sort of using it to square up the page because, like I said earlier, this line didn't go down perfectly straight. So then the next thing that I want to do is with this particular line, I'm not interested in having the cut go all the way through. I want to make sure that the bottom page is protected. So this is where I'm going to slide in the chipboard. The chipboard will act as a barrier so that I don't end up chewing through both layers. So this will make so I only cut the top piece of the page protector, and I just take my X-Acto blade just like that. Doesn't take a lot of pressure. Let's make sure that that got cut through. Now all I want to do is just take, I've got a baby wipe here, I'll just take that, polish up that protector, get rid of that ink, and that one's good to go. So that's the hardest cut for this page. The bottom, I'm just going to slice off just the smidgenest amount. So basically, all I'm going to do is take my ruler and put it up as close to the bottom as I can. I could even do about an, I'll say, I don't know, 1/16. And just run that all the way across. And this, in this case, I actually do want to go through both sides, so I didn't use the chipboard. I'll just put my blade out of the way so I don't cut myself. So this basically is ready. The next part is probably the fiddliest part, because I just need to get this page into the protector so that it's viewable. So the number one goal is not to actually protect the entire page. I'm actually will leave the interactive elements bare on top. That's me. And depending on how intricate your layouts are, will depend how, what's the word I'm looking for, how easy or difficult it might be to add page protectors to the top layers. So basically all I'm trying to do here, just so I don't forget myself, I want this to feed this top piece through the slice. But then the other thing that I need to do is reach up inside and just kind of work. Yeah, that's not going to work. I got ahead of myself here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to slide this in. Just like that. So basically I just want that bottom flap to go straight out the bottom of the page protector. So that's good to go as it is. And then I want this top flap to come underneath this little strip and then through the slice, the opening. And of course, any little embellishments and such can hang you up just like any other page. So just take it easy and just keep gently working it through. If you need to, you can kind of hold the back and pull the bottom. I'm not sure what's hanging up here. I don't want to pull it hard because I know something's obviously holding it back. Yeah, there it was. Got it. Okay, so that is that for that one. So the problem that can happen is just based on the fact that well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a super precise measurer. So what'll happen is there can be a smidgen of the front of the page protector that overhangs the flap and sort of, it doesn't make this flap work cleanly. So all you need to do to fix that is you just want to take off a smidgen of the top layer bottom. So I'm just going to slide my chipboard in. Like that, and then bring it, actually it doesn't matter where the chipboard goes, the important piece, you just try to protect your page. I'm just going to flip that around because I'm a righty, and I'm going to bring about, you can take an eighth to a quarter off. It really wouldn't matter, but less is probably fine, better. I'm going to pop that off, and I'm going to have to take that off with my blade just to nick it off like that. We got disconnected there for a second, but the point is now I have this piece taken off, and I can easily just flop this back and forth. And now I've got this fabulous page protector to secure this into my book. Now, if I was really concerned, I can always cut little sleeves like this and just slide them over these pieces. And I was surprised that I didn't really need to secure them. They stayed on just fine. If you wanted to further protect the upper and lower flaps. But sometimes that's not possible. It just depends on how interactive your page is. So the next one that I want to show you is a little bit more difficult. I've already done a little bit of the work on this one. So the challenge with this one was that when I designed it, I actually have this gate folding topper coming from both sides. So if you look, I've got a 12 by 12 layout on the bottom, and this comes out from these sides. All right, just basically got cut off again, but here we go. So as we were saying, this opens up from the two sides. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's not an unsurmountable task. So a couple of ways you're going to want to secure this down. I've already got the example here all ready to go. I just thought I'd just quickly show you. So as you saw earlier, this whole thing comes down, and I used the chipboard to create a slice down the side, and then I sliced up the side here so that I could set the page into the protector. So now what I want to do is just make it secure. So that's the final stage of this. So as you can see here, I've used a clip. So if you find these fancy clips, definitely pick a few of those babies up. They can look really awesome to keep your page together. The other thing that I did was I actually used glue, and I put dabs of glue in between my, whoops, some things are popping off. But anyway, I put dabs of glue, and they dry clear. So I used the art glitter glue, and you can barely see it through the page protector at all. So I can put little dabs of glue around to hold the page protector in place and help secure things. But if you don't want to see that later, then what you would want to do is save some of the fussy cutting elements. So here's an idea. So these are the fussy cut elements from the Minty Graceful. I would have these pre-cut out before I start my project, and I've already used some within the whole layout, but just for the sake of the demonstration, I have these butterflies already cut out. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to cover up, oopsies, glue is starting to jam up because it's been a little bit since I last used it, but I'll just put a little bit of glue down, and then I'll just cover up the other glue with the butterfly or whatever other element you want. So now the thing it's going to be is I'm trying out the art glitter glue right now. They could pop off. It is still a plastic page protector, so who knows how well this will stay. The other glue that, if this doesn't work, I would suggest, it's called the, oh goodness, I don't have any within reach, but the Helmar glue. It's a clear drying, quick dry adhesive, and it's super thick, but it would do an awesome job for tacking down these guys and making them stay. So that would basically 100% cover up all of the elements. Of course, we're going to take away this ugly piece of tape. So yeah, so clip this up. The other thing you could use is a piece of washi tape. If you have some washi tape that actually coordinates with your paper, you can just run a little tab of it around the top and to the back. One thing I will mention, if I didn't before, but I'll just go over it again, is if I'm doing an interactive page, I'm going to make sure that there's only one interactive page per page protector. So now on this side here, I'm going to put a flatter, less dimensional page in, just to make sure that it's not too heavy and there's not too much for the page protector to handle. You do want it to be usable, and I think that once you start cutting into it on both sides, you're going to run into some more problems. So the other thing that I did want to say too is that even if you aren't able to find super cool clips like this one is one from 49th and Market, but if you weren't able to find a clip like this, because I really do believe, even with some of this glue and the other things I've done, that this is probably the most secure thing that I've done. You could actually just discreetly put a little piece of tape, or even a small, like if you have the Tim Holtz tiny attacher, you could run that there. You could use an eyelet and run it through there on the corners. That would do great for securing this down. The other thing too is a metal paper clip. So don't forget that if you actually heat up metal and then dip it into embossing powder, the embossing powder will melt on the item. So now you've created a colorful paper clip. So I could do a pink or purple, and then I'd have a nice little paper clip that I could put on there. Maybe you could do it with some sparkly stuff. It would just look like you purposely added a little bling. I know there's great little clips and stuff around. A brad, you could put a brad through the top of the page through into just the back, although I'd go all the way through this layout, obviously not into the next one. And then you might want to start considering, when you actually put your page on this side, that you might want to add some of those elements as well. So again, you might want to just secure this down, even like I said, just a smidge of washi tape just to hold that down, something coordinating with the page, and you're good to go. So it might take you a little bit of creativity. Don't be afraid of cutting up your page protectors. Sometimes you might not get it right the first time, but the bottom line is to start thinking from the base and then working your way up. And then the other thing is, particularly in my case and the way that I look at it, I don't worry at all about covering up the whole page of the page protector. That's not my purpose. I just want this page to be able to be anchored into my pages, in between the rest of my pages in my book. So now I'm ready to go with that. So there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a supply list below in the comments of the things that I used to create the page protected, to protect the layouts. I'm also going to put a link to the classes at the Paper and Ink Boutique so that you can see if there's any interactive layouts coming from me that you may want to take. Also, go ahead and please check out our other awesome instructors. We have plenty. We have a number of really great people working with us right now, and I think you'd be really surprised and excited to take some workshops. Currently, during COVID times, we are working completely online, and we record them so that you can, and we'll continue to record all our workshops going forward so that you can take a workshop anytime you want. So if you wanted to take it live online at the time, awesome. If you're out of town, you can still watch the recording. Another thing to know is that if you aren't available at the time of a class, you are always welcome to take the class later on your own time. We have private Facebook groups for all of our classes, and we post the instructions. I'm a little stammery, I'm getting kind of tired. Anyhow, we post all the pictures and videos to the private Facebook groups for anybody who's registered for the class. So once you're registered, you get access to the class. You can go back to the video and any other things you need anytime you want. All right, so give me a like, give me a subscribe, check out the Paper and Ink Boutique in Calgary, Alberta, and I hope to see you again here soon. Bye for now.